Yeehaw! Welcome back to the Southern Snack where life is too short to be serious. Alright folks, Sheetz has so much going on. I've decided to break it into two parts since I've already got to come back to Carolina anyways. So we'll start out with the fruity, rewrite blue drinks, and then the second part we'll have coffee. But yeah, let's coffee's right there. Okay, so we got some new frozen slushes, frozen energy slushes. You've got a new firecracker milkshake, which I believe is blue raspberry, cherry poppers, and ice cream. So we'll start with that. And then the last thing we've got is a Red Bull summer edition infused energy drink. So don't know if it's just going to be the peach Red Bull or what we're going to get. Looks like it's just a peach Red Bull. You can add whatever flavor you want to it if you want, but hey, I don't mind drinking another one of those. They're not bad. All right, let's go with the milkshake. So even though the bubbles ain't popping real quick, you can still taste a lot of the cherry. The blue raspberry isn't too strong. And it is a nice and creamy drink. I like it, but you can see the issue, right? It's not as spread out as I wish. And it most likely tastes like a soft cherries and cream. Just a hint of blue raspberry. But I like it. I'll give it a 7. All right, on to the next one. We'll do cherry. Stick with the cherry and do blue raspberry next. Very tangy. Not sour. Maybe, I guess you could say tart. It's not terrible. You can taste some cherry. And it does feel nice on the tongue. But yeah, overall not remarkable. 5. All right, Sheetz. Just keep moving along. All right, blue raspberry. Again, it's a little bit better. But I've had better. I've had better than this. You get a little bit of that blue raspberry, that sour flavor, but there's this odd tang to it. 6. All right, Sheetz. We're hoping your coffees are better. We've got an oatmeal cookie cold brew, a s'mores cold brew, which we've probably tried before, a cherry cold brew, and then they've got caramel macchiato cold brew. We're not trying the last one. And they've got chocolate cold foam. So we're probably getting 4 coffees. Okay, so this is the summer edition Red Bull Infusion. All these places are jumping on this summer Red Bull like it's the next best thing in the world, but let's try it again. Try it in this form. I don't know if they add like carbonated water to it, but it definitely is a bit different than the Red Bull itself. much more carbonated. Again, I don't hate it, but something's odd about it, where it's not quite hitting the spot. It must taste like peach and window cleaner. I'd say it's worse than, it's the worst one. It's worse than the slushes. I'm gonna give it a 4. So yeah, hopefully the coffees are better. I've been dying to get some coffee today. Been all around Charlotte, but that's not really on the itinerary. And it's odd because the schedule for my next Carolina trip is Scooters and Caribou. They also aren't like coffee things, so really reeling here. I guess what's going to happen is, well, I'm gonna go to Bigby here soon, but I'm kind of reeling for that Dunkin' summer menu, because that's got some really fun coffee options coming, and I am holding my breath for it. Really holding my breath, ain't I? As I start to crave coffee again, I'm getting energy drink after energy drink, and running out of energy, running out of steam on that. So, part 2. Okay, we've got 4 coffees from Sheetz to go ahead and throw into this review. So let's get down to it, right? Look at that. Heck yeah, I don't know how we're doing this, but yeah. Let's throw it around. All right, we'll start with the new chocolate cold foam on a cold brew. And their cold brew coffee's not good. This cold foam's really good though. It's like chocolate milk in a foam. Personally, the foam, I give it a 10. Overall coffee with the foam, not the worst thing. I think the foam elevates it to 7, right? The coffee is just not great, but the foam is so good that it makes the coffee kind of tolerable. All right. Now, I think I've had this before, but we're going to try it anyways. S'mores cold brew with marshmallow cold foam and a little bit of graham on top. They're not bad, but their cold brew is kind of rough. Kind of chocolate forward. Not a lot of marshmallow foam, but you can taste it. I think the experience is a little bit better than the straight up cold foam, or straight up cold brew with chocolate cold foam. I think this is 7.5, right? Not quite as balanced as I would like, but it's solid, right? The more you add to this stuff, the better it's gonna get. So we might be on a downhill from here. Okay, oatmeal cookie cold brew, vanilla, caramel, oat milk. So it's not really oat milk cookie. There's whatever. Let's see if all these syrups add up to something. I can see where they're going with that. Yeah, that's actually pretty solid. Pretty balanced. The fact that they took some random syrups and oat milk and spun this off as oat milk. The only thing that could probably make this a little bit more on point is brown sugar. And like the cold brew's not ruining this. There's so much sugar, so much flavoring. Experience is a treasure. I'm gonna give that 8.5. I do think if you add like some brown sugar, you'd be spot on with that. All right, finally, this one's scary. This is a cherry cold brew, so milk, cherry, and that coffee. Oh boy, I don't know. That is bad. I've had some good cherry coffees right at Starbucks when they did the cherry chai. Oh yeah. This, their coffee is already pretty bad. And again, like, if you add the right things, it can be a beautiful mix, a beautiful product. But the coffee is already just not great. And you add this cherry syrup, and it's just a weird combination, but it's not a very good cherry syrup. Yeah, I'd give that a 1. I don't give out 1s liberally. I'm conservative on the 1s, but when it's bad, and that is bad. That is bad. So if we've come to any conclusions from this part of the review, everything goes other than cherry. Don't waste your time on cherry, because it don't want to waste your time. It don't want to waste its time on you. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this review. Enjoy your summer. Go to Sheetz, eat lots of food, drink lots of drinks. Hopefully I helped you make a new choice. If I didn't, it is what it is. Sheetz has hundreds of options, and that's all I've got left to say on this one.